Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the programme tonight, the decision of the BJP to nominate the daughter of one of the convicts accused in the horrific Naroda Patiya riots of 2002 and not have any objection to her father, in other words, the convict, actually canvass for her, raises questions on whether this election in Gujarat will be fought on the bedrock of communal polarisation. The convict in the Naroda Patiya murders, Manoj Kukrani, is out on bail, busy helping his daughter's campaign. This as the BJP nominated CK Raulji as another MLA candidate, the man who described the men accused of raping and murdering 14 Muslims as being Brahmins with good values. Bilkis Bano was one of those who survived this particular attack. So that's what we are looking at this evening, is the shadow of 2002 over the Gujarat 2022 elections. That's what we're looking at this evening. We're joined by Shubh Malhotra, someone close to the Aam Aadmi Party. We've got Gaurav Pandey of the Congress. Geeta Bhatt joins us. Professor Gobardhan Das of the BJP is with us. And Deepal Trivedi, senior journalist, with us as well. Geeta Bhatt, what justifies Manoj Kukrani, somebody who's out on bail, a convict in one of the most horrific attacks of 2002, Naroda Patiya, campaigning for his daughter? What signal does the BJP send with that?
Well, Vishnuji, as far as I understand the visuals that I have seen, it seems that he's been accompanying his daughter.
Yeah.
While she's moving around and meeting people.
He's supporting his daughter.
The question, so I think as a irrespective of even if a father is a convict, he has a right to support his daughter if she has been pursuing her political careers. But the question here is that this is being made like a political issue. But if you look at it, Vishnuji, I don't think there is any provision under the Indian Constitution which says that a daughter whose father is, serving.
No, there's no illegality.
She cannot pursue her political career.
All right.
So why is it that this is being, taken as a political turmoil over it? She has a right, and she's a woman candidate. I think this should be welcome that larger woman.
I think more than the woman candidate, I think it's the father canvassing for her, a man involved in one of the most horrific murders, a particular sequence of events where, among other things, children's mouths were opened, fuel was poured in and they were set on fire. This man is out on bail, campaigning for his daughter who's running for the BJP. Does this not send the wrong signal, ma'am?
Vishnuji, you see, whatever the father has already been convicted, he's serving in the jail term. In this country, we have seen Poolan Devi, who was convicted, who had charges of 50 murders and served a jail term for 11 years. She herself contested and, became a member of parliament.
Right.
This too has happened in this country. So the question
is that something we want in India, ma'am?
If there is any kind of a legal provision under.
Okay, no, I take the legal point. I just think that the larger issue of these elections being fought on the bedrock of communal polarization needs to be looked at. Geeta ji, I'll come back to you half a second. Gaurav Pandey, do you accept what Geeta ji has to say, that look, what's the illegality here?
Certainly not, Vishnu. The question, as you rightly pointed out here, is not of the legality. It is the Constitution of India allows, under the framework, that who all can contest, and there are people, those who are convicted for more than 2 years, they cannot contest, and etc. But the question here is of the morality, and I'm not even shocked. This has been done again and again and again. This is not the first time. So the problem is not that a woman has been given the ticket and she is contesting from the BJP. The problem is who's canvassing for her and who's campaigning for her. Even if it's her father, but what background he comes with. That is the problem, and that's a question. And I'll also tell you again, this is not the first time. If you just open, it's a simple search for anyone who's watching the show right now. you go to Google and just 3 keywords you have to search: BJP, rapist, and the name of the state, whichever state you want. And you will find a list of people, those who are being patronized by the BJP, those who are being supported by the BJP. They are in the BJP, and at many times they have contested on BJP tickets. BJP has given them the tickets, and it's going on.
All right, 1 second. Geeta ji wants to respond. Geeta, go ahead. Geeta ji.
Vishnuji, you see, 1984 was also a massacre. What happened in this country we have seen. And we know the people who have been, involved there. There are witnesses who have claimed the presence of political leaders, very strong political leaders of Congress party. Here it is, what is being talked about is, holding a high moral ground. We do know that in the MCD polls, the star campaigners in the MCD polls of Delhi, Mr. Jagdish Titler's name is already mentioned over there. So, how is Congress spokesperson trying to justify when we know what happened in 90? We have seen Mr. Kamal Nath being, his political
Gaurav, the answer that question.
Yes.
For a very long time he
you raised an important point. Double standards by the Congress, Gaurav?
Yes. What actually exposes the hypocrisy
of the Congress?
Not the Congress, of her argument. It is that when we are discussing an issue, there are 2 points. One, then when we are discussing an issue from 2022, she has to go back 50 years in the back.
No. She's not talking. She's talking about the 84 riots, and after that, it's not 50 years back.
Yes. I'm coming to that. So she has to go 40, 50 years back in the history to justify her an argument, and because she mentioned Mr. Kamal Nath and Mr. Jagdish Titler, have they been convicted? Is there any case against Kamal Nath? We are talking about here a person who's been convicted. He's out on bail. I'm not saying that her daughter should not contest election. That's a different issue. Who's campaigning? That's a problem. A convict.
What is the issue over here?
A convict.
I mean, it is not the convict
and
who
this
is
is not the first time. Vishnu, I want to point it out here.
I think it is in a
Manju
way
Verma.
trying to point
I want to point it out again.
All right, both of you half a second. Both of you half a second. Half a
The
second.
father is serving a jail term.
Geeta ji, I'll come back to both of you in a moment, because there are other examples I want to get into as well. Deepal Trivedi, do you believe that as far as the BJP is concerned, they've done it in 2002, it proved successful for them then, and in 2022, the bedrock is communal polarization. There are other examples as well. The nomination of CK Raulji, somebody who described the men released in the Bilkis murder case as being good Brahmins. Is this what the BJP is doing deliberately?
I think selection of such candidates is going to yield electoral rewards for the BJP. This is out of question. The BJP is a smart party. They have chosen their candidates very strategically. I don't see anything wrong in Payal, the candidate, from Naroda.
We aren't talking about the candidate. We are talking about the father.
Yeah, but the father campaigning.
He's apparently out on health. He's apparently out on health grounds. He's apparently fit enough to be campaigning. But quite apart from that, why should somebody, or do we want a person with that record to be campaigning? Why should the BJP be allowing him?
Because this is Gujarat, and this is what really wins Gujarat for the BJP. We have to admit that. This is the reason why even CK Raulji or any other person, who could have, can we ever imagine someone calling a rapist sanskari, giving that label, even getting a vote from their own family members? But because
Brahmins
this is Gujarat, it cannot be ruled out. And
Deepa, let me interrupt you for half a second, because I think it's important. I think it's important that we talk a little bit about Naroda Patiya before I go back to my other panelists, because there's an entire generation of people who may not actually know what happened on the 28th of February 2002. The Scroll actually summarized it quite well when they said it was a quasi-military style attack on an Ahmedabad neighborhood. LPG cylinders were used as explosive munitions. Women and girls were gang raped before they were killed. Children were actually targeted as well over here. Petrol was put into, they were force fed, and they were set on fire then so that they exploded like bombs. This is what we are talking about. This man, Manoj Kokrani, has been convicted. He's out on bail and he's campaigning. Professor Gobardhan Das, what does this say about the BJP?
Okay, good evening, Vishnu, and good evening, my fellow panelists. I was waiting almost 22 minutes patiently. Please allow me 1 minute.
Sir, the show started at 9 o'clock. It's only 9:10. You haven't waited that long.
Yes,
sir. But
okay,
go ahead.
9:10. Okay, 10 minutes. Okay. So I have 3 points. Number one, who is getting ticket and who is campaigning. Probably this is the best will be judged by the party. And where is in the constitution is written that somebody who can campaign, who cannot. And number two, if there is a problem, the citizens of India, citizens of the state will understand whether they will vote or not vote. And coming to the Congress party, when they are talking about,
are you okay with this, sir?
No, just let me finish. I requested for only 1 minute. Okay. Now, when we are talking about Congress party, when we are talking about all this party, Vishnuji, आज is this national TV, can you tell the citizen of India that 32% of the candidates from the Congress party has criminal records since 2004. So basically, criminal people are their candidate. Now, a person who is campaigning, you have all the objections, and now you are cherry picking.
Gaurav, no. I don't think we can. I don't think we can say. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Professor Das, you've raised one important point. You've raised one important point of criminal candidates. I will ask Gaurav that question. I'll ask Shubh Malhotra that question as well. But I'm sorry, it is not correct. And it is not ethical, sir, with all due respect, to say that talking about Naroda Patiya and raising that example is cherry-picking an instance of violence. This was something which affected the core of our nation, the attack. And if you've got a person over there convicted in the murder of so many people out canvassing for the most prominent political party in India,
you talk both the sides.
And you say it is cherry picking.
No. You talk both the sides. Can you please utter?
1 second. You raised a question. Let me ask the Congress that.
32% of the Congress.
Right. I'm asking that question. No. 1 minute. 1 minute, sir.
Can you please utter?
I will ask that question to the Congress. But just to your point on cherry picking Naroda Patiya, it's offensive for a lot of people to say that one is cherry picking that example.
One thing. You don't.
Gaurav Pandey. No. 1 sec. Let's get an answer to your question. Gaurav Pandey.
Yes.
He's talking about the percentage of Congress leaders who have a criminal record and who have been representatives. So therefore, the point being mentioned is that why are you picking on the BJP in Gujarat when you've got leaders with a criminal record? Respond.
Again, you pick up any report of the government, election after election, you talk about after the Lok Sabha elections or any Vidhan Sabha elections, the recently held elections earlier this year, Congress amongst all the major parties have the least number of people with the criminal record. Least. I don't know from where Mr. Das is getting his data from to justify campaigning by a convict.
You do not
listen to me. I did not interrupt.
Go and look at the area report today.
I did not interrupt when you speaking. Have the guts to listen.
No.
You are sitting here to justify
you should not give the wrong information.
Women and children. You should be ashamed of yourself. You are sitting on a prime.
You should be ashamed, but you are giving the wrong data. You do not know any history. You are giving wrong data.
If you have so much love for them, you should have them sitting inside your house in front of your family. Shame on people like you. It is because of people like you that our country is going to the ditches today.
Congress party
from where does
wiped out Indian citizens.
From where does the BJP get
all right, none of us can hear either of you, so let's bring their sounds down. 1 minute peace. Let's have some peace over here. Shubh, you've been waiting for a long time. Does the Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat or the Aam Aadmi Party condemn what the BJP is doing in terms of some of these candidates who've got a criminal record going back to communal rights of 2002?
No, of course, there should be condemnation of criminal records, but at the same time, if there is something that is constitutionally the right of an individual, whether be it to campaign for their daughter or whether be it for a person to stand in the election.
So your line is the same as the BJP line?
I'm sorry?
So you are essentially towing what the BJP is towing. The
Absolutely
BJP is also
not.
saying that
point.
it is her birth, it is the father's
Please let me come
right.
to my point.
The
Yeah,
BJP
no, so
is
the
saying
point that I'm
father
trying
can-
to make over here is, the point that I'm trying to make over here is, while it is important to understand and, learn from the lessons from these dark chapters and heinous chapters of India's history, but at the same time, it is also important to not just learn from the past, but also look at the future. And as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, we do look at the future, especially with respect to women's empowerment. And I think with their examples that they established in Delhi, whether it be Delhi being the highest number of CCTV.
No, but so let's talk about Gujarat. Let's talk about Gujarat, Shubh. Let's talk about the release of Bilkis's murderers, the fact that they were garlanded outside. Let's talk about the fact that you've got an MLA who's referred to them as being sanskari. You've got the father of an MLA candidate who was convicted in Naroda Patiya. Are you okay with any of this?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the point being that if you keep on looking at what has been happening in the past, there is very little to understand.
No, but this is not the past. It's the present election. Yes, of course, the context is the past. But it's the present election, the one that the Aam Aadmi Party has great hopes on. Why doesn't the Aam Aadmi Party, I'm curious to know, why doesn't the Aam Aadmi Party criticize this and say that a man who's out on bail, convicted in one of the most horrific crimes that we've seen in Naroda Patiya, why should he be canvassing for his daughter? It's not about his daughter, it's about him.
No, but there are many things that ought to invite criticism. But at the same time, I would like to say that Aam Aadmi Party operates from a very different platform. And I think they are a party that believe actions speak louder than words. So, just criticism and, some verbal words do not really mean anything as far as women empowerment is concerned.
Aren't politics all about verbal words? How can we forget about words?
No, it is not right that we classify.
No, but Shubh, respectfully, if somebody were to turn around and accuse the Aam Aadmi Party of soft Hindutva or of being the B team in a sense to the ideology of the BJP in Gujarat, how would you respond?
Absolutely not. And if anything has been proven, it has been proven that Congress is the B team of BJP, have their MLA join BJP after every subsequent election wherever they come in the minority. But at the same time, Aam Aadmi Party operates from its own platform of developmental agenda. There is no left wing, right wing, ideology, etc. The only ideology is good governance. Which is the reason.
Deepal Trivedi, please come in.
Let me complete. Which is the reason why they have subsequently win such
all right, okay, so hold on, Shubh. You made your point. I'll come to you. Deepal Trivedi, go ahead.
If we are talking that, if we take that Aam Aadmi Party is pursuing a developmental agenda, all of us have recently seen Manish Sisodia being asked his opinion on the Bilkis Bano case and CK Raulji's statement of terming the rapists as sanskari, and he refused. Why? Why is it? Like, if Aam Aadmi Party is operating from a different platform, it is about respect towards women, equality, liberty, why not come out clearly on this issue? Why not take a stand? This is my question.
Shubh, why don't you answer that question?
Absolutely. And I think the stand that they have taken is basis the actions that they have taken with respect to women's empowerment. And if you see...
But the action was silence. He just did not react when we asked him.
No. So actually, it is the onus of the deputy CM is to show good governance.
No, but Shubh, there is a history of your parties ringing silence in so many issues. For example, the Delhi riots, right? Atishi's statement that appeared to blame the Delhi communal trouble on Rohingya Muslim refugees. The fact that Arvind Kejriwal has been speaking a lot along the lines of what, for example, BJP leaders have spoken about, free Ayodhya pilgrimages, right? His own recitation of the Hanuman Chalisa. There's nothing wrong in any of this, nothing. Don't get me wrong at all. But is this not a certain soft Hindutva? Why use the word soft? This is a Hindutva agenda. And therefore, when these people come out of jail, right, and are championed in a sense by a party or allowed by a party which champions Hindutva and India's Hindutva heritage, you are okay with that?
No, first of all, let me clarify that the pilgrimages are not just to Hindu shrines, but they are across shrines of all religions. And at the same time, like I said, I stand by what I was talking, that the actions of Aam Aadmi Party and the development agenda that they talk about stands to look for a much positive future with respect to women's empowerment than what has happened in the past. And that is really the way they are taking the politics, they are taking the discourse. Their discourse does not include being stuck in the past. Of course, these are very dark chapters from which lessons need to be learned.
But again, Shubh, just one small point, it's not being stuck in the past. The elections are happening now. It's an issue for some and it's not an issue for you.
No, it's
That's
not
your
like
prerogative.
it is not an issue, but what exactly are we doing about it? Are we just paying lip service to it, or are we taking
So
any
what are
action
you doing
with
about it?
respect
I'm just a journalist asking the questions. You are a part of, you're close to a political party. What is that political party doing about it?
Yeah, no, absolutely, which is what I was coming to, Vishnuji, that, the steps that Aam Aadmi Party has taken in Delhi with respect to women's empowerment, with respect to, if you see the case of Delhi in the last 20 years, women had lost their space by virtue of various instances that had happened. And now with respect
All
to
right, so you've been championing the cause of women in Delhi. All right, let's focus a little on Gujarat. Gaurav, go ahead and then I'll go back to Geeta Bhatt. Yes.
Our Aam Aadmi Party, Vishnu, would be in a very, awkward position to talk about criminals or anything related to law and order or crime, because we've seen recently they've come to the power in Punjab and how the situation of law and order in the state is right now, and every day people are being killed over there. She says that Delhi is an example for women empowerment. Where even you don't even have a single woman minister, and even the women and development minister is not a woman. That is your reality in Delhi. You have not done anything.
Some of the strongest leaders are women. Atishi is an extremely strong woman leader. She champions the cause of education in Delhi.
Unfortunately,
let me interject over here. Let me interject over here and say that.
Let me complete. I did not interrupt when you were talking, and I seriously, it's such a serious topic, Vishnu, where we are discussing how murderers and rapists of murders of small children, and I don't want to repeat, graphically how you've explained it, and I don't know what in that is she is able to find amusing, that she is constantly, laughing and responding to you. So Aam Aadmi Party and BJP, they are same side, two sides of same coin. They are tributaries of same river. They come from the RSS, both of them. So I don't know. We've been saying this for 10 years now, and today you are discussing this, but we are not finding it surprising at all, because we knew it ever since.
Okay, Shubh, would you like to respond to that before I go back to Geeta ji?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to state that if you look at the MCD elections list, Aam Aadmi Party has fielded 55% of the seats they have fielded women. So, I think as far as women candidates and women leadership is concerned, Aam Aadmi Party has done way more than any other party to nurture them. And the other thing is that I would rather my honorable panelist does not comment on my personal preferences while giving interviews and stick to the agenda at hand.
Geeta ji, one final word from you. We spoke about Naroda Patiya, but what about the entire Bilkis case? We've discussed this with you in the past, the release of those convicts. But then if you have an MLA or an MLA candidate nominated by the BJP, CK Raulji, who described the men accused of raping and murdering 14 Muslims as Brahmins with good values, is this the kind of leader that the BJP would like to see as an MLA?
Well, Mr. Raulji has been in 2017, since 2017 he has been a sitting MLA. It is not that he's been given a ticket now. Yes. Earlier also he has been an MLA. And party may be knowing that who has a winning electoral chance in a particular constituency based on which the tickets have been given. But the point is that here, if you look at the opposition over there, the Congress party, there it has been yesterday only in Ahmedabad headquarters. The Congress workers themselves, they stormed into the office. They have torn down the posters of the Congress chief, Mr. Bharat Singh Solanki, over the candidature of a particular candidate called Imran, saying that that there are various charges which are being leveled against the Congress chief, and this kind of. So you just look at the political parties who are present there. The kind of internal mechanism which they have, based on which they are giving the tickets, their own party workers, they are dissatisfied.
But
And
Gitaji, he was part of a committee which agreed to release the people convicted in the Bilkis case. The BJP champions the rights of women. How do you have an MLA candidate who's part of this committee?
Well, Vishnuji, we have earlier also discussed this, that there is a legal provision under which they have been released. The day that legal provision is removed, and that is not the only case, there have been many cases in the past where this kind of based on this particular provision, legal provision, they have been pardoned after they have served.
I'm sure legally it's all fine.
So
I'm just trying to say that in India, in our country, is this what we want?
But we need to change it legally. Then only we can, because based on this particular provision, there are many such cases. So
All
where
right.
we need to change is we need to change the law. If we need to stop any such those who have been accused of heinous crimes against women to be
And until
released
that
even
happens, our
after they have
political
been.
parties can underwrite people with some pretty horrific records and say that's fine.
Well, this is a discussion which needs to, this again needs a legal provision where anyone who has been accused or proved of such guilt should not be given a ticket.
Okay.
Otherwise,
No, I agree.
even
It does need a legal
would have
provision.
gone to the parliament,
But
Vishnuji.
perhaps the morality of political parties should also have been a factor there. Gobardhanji, I'm running short on time. If you can just restrict yourself to a minute, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, see, this is a article from the Indian Express. This says the 32% of the Congress candidates have the criminal records. I think who is campaigning rather than who are the criminal candidates, that has to be picked out. Second thing is the Congress you're talking about, what the horrific cases, they are the 1984 that killed the
All right. So I'm interrupting you because I've run
2006.
out of time, but you made this point before. I don't have time for the Congress to respond to that. I need to wrap this up. But again, the larger issue of the type of people who are contesting and whether communalism, whether the entire separation of people on the basis of their religion, polarization is going to define the Gujarat elections. That's the larger question that remains unanswered. We'll take a break, come back just after that.